Hello viewers, and thank you so much once again. This is the Big Talk. Today we have got Director of Communications in the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education to discuss on a number of issues. Mr. Ndoro, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can you just maybe, as a start, you just share us your work as the ministry? What are you doing, the state of affairs in brief?
Well, the state of affairs as the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education is that we are making sure that all our children receive inclusive, equitable, quality, and wholesome heritage-based education. As you are aware that we have recently launched the heritage-based curriculum over the last 2 years, and it is now taking root, and we are making sure that everybody understands the ethos of the heritage-based curriculum, where we are saying let us be patriotic in the sort of curriculum that we provide, in the education that we provide, such that when we have got learned pupils who then grow up, they remain patriotic. If they are to come back to their country to build it, suppose they have gone outside the country, they remain patriotic, they come back and build their own country, brick by brick, stone upon stone, as His Excellency the President has always been saying. So the heritage-based curriculum is going to take us to our heritage, to our ethos, to the ethos of UNU and Ubuntu, to respect our identity as Zimbabweans. And whatever we then do, we are doing it for our nation.
And beyond the patriotism, in terms of the skills that the industry is demanding, how are you faring with that approach?
We are faring very well. Our challenge before was that they would then have those skills, and once they do have those skills, they then go and build another nation. They probably go to Europe, stay there for the next 20, 25 years during their productive years. They're in the Americas, they're in Australia. But because now we have the heritage-based curriculum, which is an enhancement of the competencies which they already have, they are now able to then come back and utilize the knowledge which they have to build this country. They are very innovative. You will find that in our heritage-based curriculum at the moment, most of our learners are conquering the world in terms of AI, in terms of robotics, in terms of coding, and even the art subjects, where you have our children performing very well in terms of moot courts, where they've got a court of law and they're competing against others. In terms of debate and public speaking, they are scaling very great heights. Also in sporting, they're doing extremely well. So we're proud of the heritage-based curriculum as it stands. We're proud of the skills that our children have. And we're happy that the heritage-based curriculum gives options. Those who want to take the academic route are taking the academic route. They get to universities and end up becoming professors, lecturers, and engineers, doctors, lawyers. Then we've got others who take the tech folk route, where they are now our handsmen, where they can be in whether it's in carpentry, whether it's in metalwork and technology, whether it's in textile technology and design, whether it's in home design. They are in there and they are showcasing what they can do, and they are receiving education which is helping them in life and also to survive. Then there are others who have taken the route of sport. As you can see, look at the Zimbabweans who are shining at the arena, is particularly the athletics arena. You've got the Charambas who are doing very well in 200 meters. At the global stage, this is because of the heritage-based curriculum and the sort of education that we're providing.
The Makaraos as well.
Yes, the Makaraos as well. The Makaraos as well, doing very, very well at the global stage.
Let's talk about the transition that you moved from color. Stakeholders had issues, parents had issues, the color, and now transitioning to heritage. What are the concerns right now from the stakeholders? There seem to be some issues around, especially with the parents and some advocacy groups, as to how it is being the approach in terms of,
We're very pleased with the reception that our stakeholders have come with in terms of accepting the heritage-based curriculum, which has done away with the continuous assessment learning activities. And we listened to the public, we listened to all stakeholders, They said the colors were burdening our children. There were too many colors for one child at a time. And admittedly, yes, we used to ask for a color every term from grade 6 right up to the end of grade 7. So it would be a color per subject or per learning area every term, which became quite heavy. So in our heritage-based curriculum, we've moved the gear up, and now we're doing school-based projects. And what we expect from a school-based project is to have one school-based project per year, per learning area, which is very manageable. This is where we're coming up with all these innovations that our children are coming up with. Innovations in artificial intelligence, in robotics, in coding. It is because we've given them more time, we've given them a whole year to do a school-based project, and then which also adds up to their final assessment mark.
Yeah, but how do you explain? You're just changing policies. After 2-3 years, you introduce another thing. It doesn't have any effect in terms of consistency, in terms of the brand the education must carry with learners.
We did not just thumbsuck change our curriculum. The cycle for the competence-based curriculum, which is the one that housed the colors, had ended. It ran from 2015, and its 7-year cycle ended in 2022. By 2023, we're now mulling the next curriculum, which then became the heritage-based curriculum, and we started implementing it in 2024. So from 2024 to 2030, we now have another cycle of the heritage-based curriculum. So it's not really thumbsuck. It's something that parents said, and we're also happy that the coincidence was that the cycle of the competence-based curriculum was ending and the new cycle of the heritage-based curriculum was beginning. So it was easier for us to infuse the engagement that we had with all stakeholders.
Let's talk to something that is burning right now, the issue of basic education assistance module program. We hear that this program has been accommodating over 1.5 million learners.
Yes.
But the government is also in arrear for almost 2+ years now. And some learners have also been chased away from school over that.
Well, the basic education assistance module is a line item within the Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare as a social safety net. So during the national budget, BIM is under the Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare. The budget line item falls within that ministry. We, as the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, then receive those funds to assist our orphans and vulnerable children in payment for their tuition. This is where we have about 1.5 million of our learners who are under BIM, and we have to wait for our partner, our sister ministry, to avail those funds. They also negotiate with Treasury to have those funds availed, and then it is business as usual. As Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, we are recipients of the BIM funds. Yes, we are aware of some of the challenges that are being faced in terms of arrears of BIM, but our education has not stopped. Learning has not stopped. There is no child who is allowed to be chased away for non-payment of fees. If a parent has not paid fees, it doesn't mean that the child will be chased away. If BIM has not been paid, it does not mean that the child will be chased away. The contracts remain with the contract for payment of BIM remains with the Ministry of Public Service, and we're in constant engagement with them so that they meet their arrears. The contract for paying school fees lies with parents. So we're always engagement with parents to ensure that they pay school fees, whilst at that time the child is still continuing to receive the quality education provided by the heritage-based curriculum.
In as much as learners may not be chased away from school because of not meeting these funds under BIM, but you also appreciate that these funds may be needed by schools for infrastructural development. So it does have net effect in terms of how the school would discharge these services to learners.
Yes, we are very much aware of that, that these funds are needed. It's just like areas where parents have not paid fees. We still need those funds to boost our quality, our education, to ensure that we have infrastructure. We've got enough abolition facilities. We've got water, sanitation, and hygiene within our schools. We've got electricity within our schools, grounds, fences, dura walls, teaching and learning material. All that money is still needed to make sure that our children receive quality education. So it's not just BIM. We've got parents also who are in areas, and we are always in constant engagement. But here is the good thing: the ministry does not disadvantage any child by leaving them behind or leaving any place behind. We make sure that our children continue to receive the quality education under the heritage-based curriculum.
Fantastic. But when you engage with your sister ministry, public service, what are they saying in as far as disbursing these funds?
Actually, there is a tripartite committee that is made up of the Deputy Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, the Deputy Minister of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare, and the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. This tripartite meets often to deliberate on ways of covering the areas of BIM, and now and again BIM funds are released. Obviously, we have not yet got to break-even point in terms of our areas, but there is movement, there is negotiations that continue to happen on a monthly basis.
Recently, the Deputy Minister of Finance, Honorable Mnangagwa, when he was speaking in Parliament, when he was responding to these concerns, he raised there were some loopholes that they have identified. Would you have an appreciation of such things?
We would have an appreciation only in as far as the Honorable Deputy Minister said, but perhaps in terms of detailed information, the Honorable Deputy Minister would be in the best position to say that further.
Let's go to the area of the latest developments with regards to Zimsec. First is you have kept O-level subjects to just 9.
Yes.
And the A-level to 3.
Yes.
What is the reasoning behind all this?
The reasoning is we need to take you back to where this comes from. The heritage-based curriculum has got a blueprint. The blueprint is called the heritage-based curriculum framework. It's a framework that was that we came up with after robust consultations with communities, with all stakeholders, with industry, with commerce. We really went all out. I'm pretty sure that if you're a parent as well, we called you to one of your child's school sometime in 2024 to come and give us feedback as to how you would like the heritage-based curriculum to be implemented. We met members of the armed forces, we met lawyers, we met doctors, we met universities, we met practically all stakeholders that have a bearing to our educational heritage-based curriculum. And then we came up with a blueprint, which is the heritage-based framework. The framework was signed by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Idim Mnangagwa. The Honorable Minister of Primary and Secondary Education also signed it, Professor Torerai Moyo. And the Permanent Secretary for Primary and Secondary Education, Mr. Moses Mike, also signed that framework. It's a thick document. It's available on our platforms. It's also available in our libraries. And anybody who cares to go through it is free to access the framework. It is in that framework where you will find that we kept the subjects for O-level at 9 and those for A-level at 3. It is there in black and white in our framework, and this is something that was come up collectively through our consultations with the nation.
In your personal view, does this not place a limitation on students who have got capacity to go even for 15, 16 subjects at O-level and those who can go for 6 subjects at A-level? Is this not a limitation?
Apparently it's not a limitation. Why? Because our mandate as the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education is to provide quality education. And let me repeat, quality education. Our mandate is not to provide quantity education. So there's a difference. We are providing quality. There are others advocating for quantity. Quantity does not take us anywhere. We would rather specialize so that we know that if we have got an engineer, we've got the best engineers. If we have got a lawyer, we've got the best lawyers. If we've got doctors, we've got the best doctors because they have specialized in areas which they then thrive. It helps us build our nation in making sure that we've got specialized structures everywhere, specialized systems everywhere, because the children who went through the learning in primary and secondary education were specialized. They did 9 subjects and they did 3 subjects. Besides, when you go for university at tertiary education, it's not possible for you to be pursuing 3 or 4 degrees at the same time. You're only allowed to pursue 1 degree at a time. And at A level, they only look at your the 3 best subjects. Even if you do 7 or 8 A level subjects, they will just look at the best 3, and then they will allocate you a degree program. If you want to do another degree, you have to finish this one first, and then you do another one, and then you do another one. You are never going to do all those degrees at the same time.
But let's also talk about Zimsec becoming the only examining body. Why that resolution?
It's not a new thing that the Zimsec is the national curriculum provider or the assessor of our curriculum. It's there in the Constitution. It's there in the Education Act, in Section 63 of the Education Act. It's very clear. It says that there will be a single national examining board, and the examining board that is there is Zimsec. So those who had not been following the heritage-based curriculum as assessed by Zimsec were doing things because they felt they probably had the freedom to do so, or they thought they would offer what is better. But according to our act, it is one national singular curriculum which is then provided for all Zimbabweans, which dovetails with what I was talking about in terms of the heritage-based curriculum becoming a very patriotic curriculum where we're all on the same table. We don't have children who do not know about other things and others who know about other things. You'll be surprised that there are children who do not know about Chaminyuka, there are children who do know about Queen Lozikai, and yet we are in the same country. It is because they are not benefiting from the singular curriculum, which is the heritage-based curriculum.
The question would be, why are you so implementing it now? Like going, all the way to make sure that it becomes single, the examining body. Why all this other time?
It's because we have observed that there are certain non-governmental schools, particularly private schools, who then started offering their own sort of curriculum, devoid of the heritage-based curriculum. We had no problems with the other private schools before, wherein they offered both the national curriculum, which is the heritage-based curriculum, and other curricula, which we didn't mind. It became a cause for concern when we noticed that there are other private schools that have completely dropped the national curriculum, which in this case is the heritage-based curriculum, and are now just pursuing international examining bodies assessment. This is where we then say, no, let us take you back to the drawing board, to the Education Act, so that you be reminded which curriculum you're supposed to follow.
And this Zimsec has got issues, your credibility issues over exam leaks, cheating, delayed results, and so on. Where does this leave learners when they go at the international market?
There's no country in the world that will refuse a Zimsec certificate. You go to Brazil, you go to Chile, you go to Switzerland, China, Pakistan, Thailand, you go to Greenland, Canada, Australia, they will accept a Zimsec certificate with wide open arms. In fact, Zimsec is probably the best assessment in Africa. We are amongst the best in the world by offering Zimsec. Our Zimbabwean children are top stars and champions all over the world. We have got children who went through the Zimsec assessment, and they are CEOs, they are managing directors, they are innovators. Some of them are working for Google. There are some who are working for Facebook in very, very senior positions. And these are Zimbabweans. Go to South Africa. MTN, your CEOs are Zimbabwean. Go to big companies, McDonald's. Your executive managers are Zimbabweans. And it's through this very same heritage-based curriculum or the competence-based curriculum before which you're talking about. There's a lot of credibility.
Director, does this take away the responsibility to ensure that Zimsec produces credible results without all these delayed results, leaking of exams, and cheating?
Well, the issue that I can refer to you on this matter, particularly on this matter where you will say our results are delayed. This year, our results and the Cambridge results, for instance, were 2 hours apart. 2 hours. Cambridge releases, Zimsec releases on the same day, 2 hours. So where is the delay really? In terms of leakages, we last had a leakage in 2022. It is now a thing of the past. We now use a lot of biometrics and a lot of security around Zimsec. So we don't anticipate having any leakages. But you know the funny thing, there are a lot of leakages that happen in Cambridge and none of you guys in the media ever talk about it. Even here in Zimbabwe, there's cases, even much earlier than Zimsec. You've got cases in 2024 from Cambridge, you've got others in 2025. But you don't talk about it, you don't investigate, it's none of our business because we're not focused on Cambridge, we are focused on the heritage-based curriculum and Zimsec.
And the interest is obviously to make sure that Zimbabwe produces quality and best learners.
Yes.
That's the interest.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the interest.
So we are only focused on what we do as Zimbabweans and how we produce our heritage-based curriculum, how we plug leakages, how we continue to be credible. Whatever is happening besides what we're providing is really none of our concern. But it is happening. You may run to Cambridge, but there are issues. Yes.
Director, a couple of days ago, we were speaking about some infrastructural gaps that some of these learners, these schools are experiencing. And obviously, in one way or the other, they do have an effect in terms of the credibility of the exams. Like schools which do not have enough infrastructure of simple storing with security exams, they will have to move around from one school to another.
We have a very robust system when it comes to our examination and our examination storage. We have got schools that are registered as under the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, but they are not registered as Zimsec centers. Why are they not registered as a Zimsec center? It's because the infrastructure does not provide the security that we feel can protect the credibility of our examination. So you will find that there are certain schools where examinations can be housed, exam papers, they may be housed. Then there are other schools where they don't have the license yet because they do not have the appropriate infrastructure to house examination papers. So we are aware of this, and those schools that we transport examination papers to those schools that do not have the adequate infrastructure. Once the examinations are done, we take them back to a school which is called a cluster center, which then houses these examination papers under lock and key.
And within that transportation process, you don't realize possible risks?
We have no risks that we have encountered so far, absolutely.
Yeah, but why not just focus on ensuring that the investment makes the school credible in as far as the security of the exams is concerned? It's
work in progress. Remember, I said there are schools that are registered, but they're not registered as Zimsec centers. It's because they don't have the infrastructure to hold, to house examination papers. Then we've got schools that are completely unregistered. They're not even registered within the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education as registered. These are called satellite schools, but they still provide the education. And our children from satellite schools have to move several kilometers to the school that is registered where they can write their exams, because they're not even allowed to write exams at a satellite school. So if a satellite school then gets registered, they can at least start to write the exams at that satellite school, whilst the infrastructure for them to house the examination papers is still also being constructed. Therefore, they then don't have to walk any long distances to go and take an examination. We had instances a couple of years ago where children would have to go and camp close to the school, which is the examination center, because they are coming from a satellite school, which is 10, 15 km away. Now that is becoming a thing of the past because we are registering these satellite schools. And when you register them, they become a center where an examination may be written, but the examination papers may not be stored there because the infrastructure is not yet up to the standards that we expect of housing Zimsec examination papers. But it is all work in progress, and we are getting there, brick upon brick.
Brick upon brick. Let's look at infrastructure again of rural schools, where you find a school with a single computer, one computer with over 200 learners. There's no water, there's no electricity. And so where does this leave us?
I think those schools now, if you try and look for them, you may find it very difficult to identify one such school where you say there's a single computer. It's very, very difficult these days because government has come in a big way, working as the whole of government, working very closely with the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, which recently distributed 8,500 Starlink kits to all our remote schools and the rural schools. So you can go right now to Mzarabani, you can go to Mudzi, you can go to Bulilima. In a very rural school, you'll be able to be connected on Starlink. Deep in the Bundu, all teachers are connected. If there are children who have cell phones or parents, they can also be connected. So we are moving worlds. Moving worlds. We are there in the rural and remote areas providing the necessary hardware and technological equipment for our children to have digital transformation in terms of education. Go around most of our schools. You look at Chinoi High, for instance. It is compulsory for a child, a learner, to bring a laptop, a tablet, and a smartphone. This is where we are. Go to the rural areas, you've got teachers, because there's now Starlink. We are now learning in real time. So the schools that you are talking about, they are few and far between. In fact, you will find it very difficult to identify one such school right now, because I can't think of any offhand. Perhaps 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that could have been the case. In 2026, it's a thing of the past.
Just last week, I was in Mtoko North, Ward 5, and I talked with you over the phone over this issue. There's a school called Gurura Secondary School.
Yes.
It is one such example, despite it being located within an area where millions of granite are being mined and so on. But that's neither here nor there. But this is one good example that I can give you, that in terms of infrastructure.
In terms of infrastructure, ICT infrastructure, and then construction infrastructure, there are two different things. In terms of ICT infrastructure, we've moved mountains. In terms of the infrastructure of building classrooms and building admin blocks, abolition facilities, we are getting there bit by bit. So several schools that used to face challenges of infrastructure, they've completely transformed. I can give you an example of a school called Chabuino on the way to Shamba. It used to be almost a very dilapidated school. I can invite you to go and see it right now. You see the state-of-art blocks that are there. The school doesn't have A-level at the moment, but we have already constructed A-level classrooms, A-level labs. You should take time to go and visit just along the road. It looks very, very beautiful. And we're doing this with our partners, and it's not just, it's just one school. I can point you out to you the other school built by government along Chivu Road, just close to Chivu, Makumi Mavi. You can get to that school and see what is there.
As government, no one must deny that you're doing a good job.
Yes.
But I was wanting us to resolve this, the Gurura Secondary School.
Yes, I've taken note of the name.
I spoke to the community members, I spook to the headmaster, who actually saying even teachers themselves are now asking and requesting for transfers because the space, the place is not good for, they feel that's not good for them, good for learners too.
Right, we have taken note of the school that you have mentioned. We are going to bring it up to speed and modernize it like the schools that I've been talking about. We have got schools in rural and remote areas where a teacher asking for a transfer is a thing of the past because they've got water. And I'm not just talking of cold water. They've got solar geysers. They've got flash system. They've got electricity. They've got Starlink. The school is within the schoolyard. It's a stone's throw away. There is no need for those teachers to transfer. They are there in the deep rural areas and they are staying at those schools 10, 15, 20 years because they have got modern infrastructure at the school. We will look at this school and we'll also bring it up to speed as we are doing as the Second Republic.
And in terms of the distribution of the infrastructure development at rural schools, go even to Mwenezi. I know one school that is in Sovelele, when you cross Mwenezi River inside there, some are still using trees, learning under trees, literally.
Yes, we do have one or two schools that still need more infrastructure, where we have schools that are also doing hot seating, but we are working towards that, improving the infrastructure of those schools that need more infrastructure, because where they have hot seating, others probably go and learn outside, whilst others are inside and they change and they swap. But within a number of couple of years, we always make sure that the infrastructure is up to speed. We are targeting Vision 2030. These issues that you are talking about, you are going to see that they will disappear completely. You won't find a school where we're having hot seating, where we don't have infrastructure. We'll have more classrooms than is needed by the time we get to 2030.
Let's talk also lastly about the attitude of teachers.
Yes.
I know you are not the employer, obviously. This must go to public service. But their attitude towards work, amidst complaints, of poor salaries. Actually, they cite that as a demotivating factor.
The thing about salary, Mr. Ngom, is that it may never be enough. It may never be enough. But in terms of saying that our teachers are demotivated, well, some may be. But the majority of our teachers are noble teachers. And they are thorough when they are at the schools. We are always out each week in, week out, monitoring how they are delivering their lessons in classroom. Our teachers are very, very dedicated. We have got teachers in very remote areas that are producing very good results. We are pleased with the energy that they are putting under difficult conditions. This is why, as government, we're making sure that we have infrastructure that motivates these teachers. This is why at certain schools where we have encouraged commercial ventures to be at those schools, you find that a teacher is provided with breakfast and they're provided with lunch at the school. And then they can also, they've got electricity, they've got water systems. Their houses have been upgraded and connected to Wi-Fi. So these are non-monetary motivational issues which the government is currently handling. All our teachers right now as civil servants, they also benefit from the vehicle rebate, where they can import a vehicle of their choice under a threshold announced by the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development, and they do not pay any duty. This is a great motivating factor. So it's not just about the salary. There are a lot of other incentives that we are giving to our teachers, which is making them proud to be teachers, and this is why our pass rate has been increasing. You'll find that last year our pass rate went up at Form 4 to 35%. This year we're expecting it to go above 40. Perhaps it may go to even 50. Our grade 7 pass rate has also increased. Our A-level pass rate is almost 100%. It's at 96%. It can only happen because of motivated teachers. So we are really happy with the kind of work that our teachers
So some 10 or so years ago, I was a teacher to one of these schools in the Verengo called Chapungu Secondary School.
Yes.
The challenge that I was facing there with other fellow teachers, they are still experiencing the same today.
The same challenges, like which challenge?
Infrastructural challenges, electricity, water, and so on.
These are things that we're saying will be a thing of the past. We're working as the whole of government, working with the Ministry of Local Government and Public Works, construction of schools, construction of solar farms, working with the Ministry of Energy, making sure that there's rural electrification, working with the Ministry of ICT, making sure that there are computer labs everywhere and there's Wi-Fi everywhere. So if you go back to your school, the one that you taught about 10 years ago, you may find that it's very different, very modern, and you may want to go back and be a teacher at the same school.
Okay, Director, when you look at the welfare, the salary of a teacher, what would you expect? What do you think is a deserved wage in today's Zimbabwe?
Well, in today's Zimbabwe, of course, I do not have the mandate to speak on their salaries, but as things are, we are still managing to provide quality education, relevant education, equitable education, wholesome education for all Zimbabweans.
Okay, I will speak for them. They have said, I've read reports, I've attended press conferences from some of these, including some of the advocates groups and so on. And they say they deserve 1,200 USD per month.
Well, there is a platform for them to negotiate. I think it's the NNJC, where they can negotiate their salaries through the Ministry of Public Service.
Do you think they deserve such?
Well, as the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, our role is to provide quality education, and we would also appreciate motivated teachers.
But do you think it's a deserved call or appeal? Request?
It's not within my purview to say whether it's deserving or it's not. But if you ask me whether we're providing quality education, yes, that is within our purview.
Thank you so much, Derek. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you. Nice talking to you.